March is National Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month, and for today's B-Side episode, we will discuss everything you need to know about the disease. Colorectal cancer is the fourth leading cause of cancer-related deaths among Filipinos, according to the Philippine Cancer Society. Also, an estimated 1 in 1,800 Filipinos at risk of developing it each year. So, to fill us up with knowledge today about colorectal cancer, I will be speaking with Dr. Dave Renel L. Cebollena, Vice President of the Philippine Society of Gastroenterology. He will be speaking about colorectal cancer symptoms, treatments, as well as prevention. Also, to discuss the benefits available to patients and the services available for its prevention, I will be talking to Dr. Israel Francis A. Pargas, Senior Vice President for the Health Finance Sector and spokesperson of Philippine Health Insurance Corporation, or PhilHealth. But first, let's kick off the B-Side podcast with Dr. Dave. Hello, Dr. Dave. Thank you so much, Paul, for saying yes for this interview. So for first question, sir, can you let us know and our listeners what is colorectal cancer and how does it usually start? Go ahead, Doc.
Colorectal cancer, basically, it's malignancy, or cancer of the large intestines, And at this point, based on the latest data from the WHO Global Cancer Network, here in the Philippines, colorectal cancer is the third most common cause of cancer among Filipinos. This is for both sexes, male and female. And colorectal cancer is the fourth most common cause of death among cancer patients. And what are the risk factors or causes of colorectal cancer? So in Tagalog, basically cancer ng bituka. So number one would be the genetic mutations. Some cells, as we age, and kung merong environmental exposure, these cells would mutate and turn into cancer cells. So there's a big factor of heredity, yung genetics, So yung mana sa pamilya. So for patients, if they have a first-degree relative that was diagnosed with colorectal cancer, then the physicians or the doctors handling her relative would definitely advise all first-degree relatives to undergo screening and preventive programs. Next, of course, would be lifestyle and dietary habits. So for lifestyle, patients who are sedentary, patients who regularly partake or ingest of alcohol, those that are smoking, they are at a higher risk in developing colorectal cancer. Not just colorectal cancer, but overall cancer risk is increase in patients who smoke and take alcohol on a regular basis, not just on the regularity of the intake of alcohol, but also the amount. Okay? And patients who love to eat highly processed foods. These patients are at a higher risk. Patients who are obese, are at a higher risk in developing colorectal cancer. And there's this condition that what we call inflammatory bowel disease. Though at present it's quite uncommon for Filipinos, but we have observed that the incidence is increasing among Filipinos having inflammatory bowel disease. So these are the risk factors, for patients that may be that can have colorectal cancer. Now, for the mutation, it starts with polyps. So in patients with these risk factors, so colorectal cancer starts with polyps. So polyps I guess in Tagalog, it's kuntil, no? So, inside our large intestines or dun sa malaking bituka, nagsa-start na magkaroon ng kuntil. And this kuntil or polyp, no, if it is not detected early, no, in a matter of 5 to 10 years, would mutate and transform to malignancy.
Doc, just to clarify na po yung terms ano. Sir, so, Doc, yung colorectal cancer, is it a broader term or umbrella term po ba, sir, for the colon and for colon and rectal cancer, sir, di ba? Tama ba ako, sir?
Yes, yung term na colorectal cancer, so anatomically kasi yung placement ng colon and ng rectum sa ating abdomen different, no? So it's more of medical, no? Colon is inside the peritoneal cavity, while part of the rectum is retroperitoneal. Pero in general, colorectum, no, isa lang siyang mahabang organ. So malaking bituka.
And also, sir, yung age. I think, sir, many people, I think it is more common on aged people. Tama ba ako, sir?
Yes. For cancers, no, age is really a given risk factor in the development of cancer, all types of cancer.
Okay, sir. Thank you for clarifying about that. So, sir, ano yung mga common symptoms, sir, ng colorectal cancer, and ano yung mga tests and procedures for us to identify or to diagnose it?
Okay. For the symptomatology, no, as much as possible, no, we would want patients to be screened and checked, no, during the time na they don't have the symptoms, no, because in cancer, especially in cancer treatment and prevention, the presence of these symptoms would more or less signify that the cancer is at a later stage. And pag later stage na yung cancer, then the treatment becomes more expensive and complicated, and the likelihood of cure and survival also decreases. So I will discuss what are the guidelines on who do we screen for colorectal cancer. Okay, so I'll start with the alarm symptoms. No, so for patients who experiences blood in their stools, or if they move their bowels, there's presence of blood, no, when they wash, no, then that is a alarm symptom that would necessitate consultation. Next would be change in bowel habits. So in an individual, for example, with a regular bowel habits, let's say every other day he or she moves her bowel, then suddenly, no, she experiences constipation, and the constipation persists, no, then again this would necessitate consultation. And of course, alternating constipation and diarrhea, no, would also necessitate an urgent consultation to your physician, so that the physician can review your history and do proper physical examination so as to guide the patients on what test to do. Third is presence of anemia, no, especially in males, no. So usually for us males, we shouldn't really expect to be anemic and maputla, no, in the local dialect. Why? Because we don't lose blood on a monthly basis as compared to the females, no. Weakness, loss of appetite, and unintended weight loss, no. So for example, you've lost 10% of your weight in a 4-week period, that is an alarm symptom that would necessitate immediate consultation. And lastly, any abdominal discomfort, no, especially if the abdominal discomfort persists, no, and with the addition of the other alarm symptoms that I mentioned. Next is for patients that are asymptomatic, no, so apparently healthy adults, no, once you reach the age of 50 years old, even without those previously mentioned alarm symptoms, they need to undergo screening tests for colon cancer. So what are the screening tests that is available in our setting? So we do stool-based tests. No, so there are two types of stool-based tests in our setting. The first one and the much older one is the fecal occult blood test. So you submit a stool sample and the laboratory will test your stool for any minute traces of blood. And the next is the fecal immunochemical test. No, again, it's a stool-based test. You submit to the lab or some kits, you can do the fecal immunochemical test at the comfort of your own home. No, meron namang package noon, may packet. There's an instruction on how to do. And again, that test detects microscopic and minute amounts of blood not seen by the naked eye.
What are the available treatments, Doc? Available right now based on your experience? And also, Doc, how are the patients typically respond to these treatments? Mabilis ba sila mag-recover? And what are the challenges? Go ahead, Doc.
Okay. So for the treatments, no, for us gastroenterologists, no, the science and the technology for gastroenterology has evolved, no, immensely, no. So let's say, for example, a patient underwent colonoscopy, no, and during that colonoscopy, the gastroenterologist saw a highly suspicious lesion, no. During that procedure, no, the gastroenterologist can more or less identify what is the likelihood of that lesion of being a early type of cancer with the flick of a switch. Okay, and if it was identified that it is highly malignant, no, then the gastroenterologist can do endoscopic surgery. So we can remove, no, that lesion, no. So merong guidelines, no, merong size, no. We can remove, no, early or early cancerous lesions endoscopically. So no need for open surgery. We have the technology, no, and the equipment, no, to do endoscopic surgery. Next, for patients who have a let's say much bigger lesion, no, especially if the lesion is somewhat causing obstruction na, no, sa colon, then these patients will be referred to our surgeons, and the surgeons, no, based on the imaging test, no, so after a patient has been diagnosed with colon cancer, we do imaging tests that would be your CT scan and MRI, no, to determine if the mass that was seen inside the colon has already spread or is still confined inside the colon. This would guide the surgeon what type of surgery will be done in this patient. So usually pag early stage, the surgeon can do resection. So with resection, the surgeon just cuts a portion of the colon with the mass, and the surgeon would reanastomose or reconnect, no, the colon. And for surgical techniques, no, again, there's a lot of development and evolution with the surgical techniques. Most of the surgical techniques right now are minimally invasive. So for colorectal surgery, they use laparoscopic surgery. So with laparoscopic surgery, the the risk for morbidity and complication is much lower with faster recovery.
What are the ways to prevent colorectal cancer?
Okay, so first would be we need to adapt and adhere, no, to a healthy lifestyle, no. So as I've mentioned previously in our talk, we need to avoid being sedentary, no. So there's no need to enroll in a gym, no, or to do very strenuous physical activity. No, the simple act of walking on a regular basis, no, doing some household chores, no, just just move your body, no, that would help, no. Next, of course, is stop smoking, no, and ideally, no, stop alcohol consumption, no, maintain a healthy and balanced diet. Now, for the dietary prescription, the WHO and the DOH have come up with the dietary guide. So for our setting, it's in the website of DOH. You just type in Pinggang Pinoy, no? So the healthy Filipino plate is composed of, so basically you divide your plate, no? So half of the plate should be filled with vegetables. The remaining half, you divide that between your carbohydrates and your protein or yung ulam natin. And you can have at least a serving of fruit per meal. And we need to minimize, or it would be best if we avoid, no, drinking sugary and sweetened drinks, no. So dun sa guide, ang nakalagay na beverage is plain water, and for health purposes, water is still king. And of course, as much as possible, we need to avoid and limit our processed food intake. And lastly, very important, if you're 50 years old and above, even if you have no symptoms, have yourself screened, do your stool-based test. For patients with alarm symptoms, don't wait, no, until you've experienced increasing severity of your symptoms, no. Seek early consultation.
Thank you very much, Doc. And yeah, kaya for our listeners, listen to Doc Dave. Anyways, Doc, siguro for our final message po, what is your message right now to the public or to patients po in line with Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month?
Okay, so number one, colorectal cancer or colon cancer is preventable. It is treatable, and it is beatable.
Wow, such a powerful message from Dr. Dave. Thank you again, Doc, for taking the time to share it with us po. Alright, so at this juncture, we will be talking with Dr. Israel Francis E. Pargas, the Senior Vice President for Health Finance Sector and a spokesperson of PhilHealth. Hello, Dr. Pargas. Okay, sir. So in light of the Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month, what PhilHealth benefits are available for colorectal cancer patients? Go ahead, Doc.
They can go from one, either getting our benefits from the regular all case rate packages, or through our special benefit, which is the Z benefit package. For the all case rate benefit package, the coverage would be individual or singly or specific per procedure or per operation that will be done. For example, even for diagnostic like colonoscopy, there is a separate package for that. For example, there is an operation that will be done in the colon, then there is a separate package for that. Or in the rectal area, there is a separate package for that. And if the patient needs to go through chemotherapy, there is also a separate package for that. Or the patient can apply through the doctor of the patient through our contracted facilities for a special benefit package we call the Z benefit package for colorectal cancers. And this Z benefit package encompasses all from diagnostics to surgery to chemotherapy or to radiation, and that will be paid as one package. So for the Z benefit package, the patient will be enrolled or pre-authorized for them to be available or eligible for this special benefit package. Or if there is no diagnosis still and the patient goes through consultation and checkup, we already have our primary care benefit package, which we call Consulta, wherein there are around 15 laboratories which are included for free. One of those would be an examination for fecalysis or fecal occult blood testing that can also be used as a diagnostic for an indication for a colorectal cancer.
Thank you very much, Doc. So just to clarify, Doc, no, we have the normal or the standard po na case rate that they can avail po ng mga
Yes.
ng mga patients po natin, and there is also the Z benefits package nga for
Yes.
more yun nga, catastrophic as it is aim of the Z benefits package, Doc. So just for our what do you call this? For just to inform po our patient po, our listeners rather po, magkano po yung coverage po ng Z benefits package po?
Well, our Z benefit package would run from 150,000 to 300,000 pesos, and that would cover from stage 1 up to stage 3 cancer, and our rectal cancer naman would be covered from 150,000 to 400,000.
Ano naman, Doc, yung ways to ensure po na yung makuha ng mga kababayan po natin yung no balance billing policy, and ano po yung other options for them to reduce yung out of pocket expenses?
Well, for one, we follow the rule on the no co-payment. The no co-payment is whatever type of membership you have, even if you are an indigent or a paying member, as long as you opt to be admitted in a ward or basic accommodation that is in public or in private, then you will have to pay no more else. So wala ka ng no co-payment, a no co-payment rule should be afforded to you. So kaya lang kung ang pasyente would opt to be admitted in a non-basic or a non-ward accommodation, then they should expect a co-payment coming from their amenities kasi nag-private room sila, nag-private doctor sila. So yun, magkakaroon sila probably ng a certain amount of co-payment. But what is good with the benefit package is there can be negotiations with regard to the co-payment. But again, if the patient would be admitted in a ward or basic, in public or private, then there is no co-payment already.
Kasi parang minsan napapatagal daw po. Do you have such, na po ba, Doc? Parang mechanisms to improve the pre-authorization requirements process po?
Well, normally, the pre-authorization runs for a week. However, nagkakaroon talaga siya ng issue, especially kung hindi kompleto yung mga nasasubmit na requirements. And also, take note na hindi lahat nakakapasa sa pre-authorization. Kasi meron po tayo ding mga criteria on who will be approved for such benefit. Pero yan po ay kasama sa magiging review natin for the colorectal cancer one, kung paano natin may improve yung ating criteria together with the experts on this matter para po mas marami tayong mapayagan na makakuha ng benefit. And of course, part of the review will be a review on the process, not only on the pre-authorization, but also on the process of filing of claims, the requirements for the filing of claims. I-review din po natin yan to make it more convenient, not just for the patient, but also for the participating facilities.
We discussed the key things you should know about colorectal cancer, including available diagnostics for prevention, treatments for patients, and the PhilHealth benefits that cover these services. Dr. Dave and Dr. Pargas would agree that we can prevent and fight colorectal cancer. This has been another episode of B-Side. Again, this is Edge Eva. Subscribe now and enjoy industry insights on Philippine business and beyond.